insiders predict they'll be billionaires before they can even vote. You are the American dream. You know, so many girls look up to you and feel that what you've been able to do, I mean, you get to, basically, you can do anything in the world you want to do.
To a certain extent.
To a certain extent.
To a certain extent. I mean,
Okay.
we still go to school and everything else.
And I was...
In 2010, Mary-Kate Olsen told Marie Claire magazine that she wouldn't wish her upbringing on anyone, and that she looked at old pictures of herself and didn't feel connected to them at all. Back in the 1990s and the 2000s, the Olsen twins were super famous it girls and tabloid fixtures. They were multimillionaires by the time that they were just kids due to their lucrative acting careers. They started to star in the iconic TV show Full House at just 9 months old, before spending their preteen and teenage years starring in iconic films such as Passport to Paris, Our Lips Are Sealed, Billboard Dad, and Winning London. They also went on to star in iconic TV shows like Two of a Kind and So Little Time. The twins also released video games aimed at girls like Magical Mystery Mall, Crush Course, and Sweet 16, Licensed to Drive. They released dolls, makeup, hair products, clothes, perfume, magazines, bedroom furniture, and books. It seemed like the Olsen twins were living the ultimate teenage dream. They were rich, famous, and seemingly on top of the world. But looks, of course, can be deceiving. Since their days of being teen queens, the twins have decided to completely step away from the limelight. So what caused Mary-Kate to say that she didn't wish her upbringing on anyone, and what caused the girls to step away from the spotlight? Like a lot of young girls in the 2000s, Mary-Kate and Ashley had to endure misogyny and creepy behavior from men old enough to know better. There were a lot of weird headlines that were counting down to their 18th birthday, with men celebrating the fact that the Olsen twins were turning legal, meaning that they could then legally consent to sex. This isn't just a weird and annoying thing to see. This is a dangerous narrative that paints girls to be sexual objects. In an article called Counting Down to Female Celebrities Turning Legal is More Than Crass, It's Dangerous, writer Yomi Adoki wrote this: "There is a pervasive idea that girls are ticking sexual time bombs, that once they reach 18, the floodgates are well and truly open to all kinds of abuse. Coming of age for boys is a beer with your father. For girls, the rite of passage is warding off unwanted sexual attention from men old enough to be your father." This type of disgusting behavior can obviously have a very negative impact on a young woman, especially once in the limelight. We have seen the same narrative happen to stars like Britney Spears, who is just now getting public apologies for the way that she was treated by the media as a young woman. The Olsen twins having to deal with blatant sexism, misogyny, and being sexualized at such a young age by the media absolutely made them feel uncomfortable, just like it would have made any girl feel uncomfortable. And this was probably the start of part of the reason that the girls did not like the limelight. The Hills star Spencer Pratt allegedly sold a photo that he somehow snuck of Mary-Kate drinking alcohol at a high school party that they both attended. He then sold it for allegedly $50,000. Mary-Kate later appeared on The Late Show with David Letterman, telling him how awful Spencer really is. Spencer then hit back saying, quote, "I don't really get why she'd use my name to get press for her little indie film that no one's going to see. I know I've made it in Hollywood when a famous troll is talking about me on Letterman. I forgive her though. She's just had to go through life as the less cute twin, which must be tough." End quote. This is obviously very misogynistic and not okay for Spencer to say. So when the girls graduated from high school, they were excited to go off to college for a fresh start. They bought an amazing penthouse in New York City and enrolled in classes at NYU. What should have been a fun and rewarding experience for the girls soon turned into a nightmare. It was reported that the girls didn't feel safe and like they were constantly being watched by people who were not out for their best interest. After what happened with Spencer Pratt allegedly leaking the photo of Mary-Kate drinking, who could blame the girls for not trusting anyone? Mary-Kate and Ashley eventually ended up dropping out of NYU. On top of everything, the pressures of Hollywood are intense, and oftentimes the standard of beauty is to be very thin, especially during the unforgiving 2000s. The girls were both thin, but rumors began flying that Mary-Kate had a cocaine problem due to the fact that she had been seen out partying and that she had gotten noticeably thinner than her already thin frame. As it turns out, she was struggling with anorexia. And the media wasn't helping, writing horrible articles that said things like "eat a sandwich." It's alleged that she didn't begin getting treatment for her eating disorder until she was faced with an intervention. Being sexually objectified at such a young age, not being able to trust anyone, having people constantly using you for money and fame, being hounded by the press, and falling victim to Hollywood's unrealistic beauty standards are just some of the reasons that I believe Mary-Kate and Ashley may have felt like their childhood was not a good one, and why they did not wish it on anyone. What do you think? Were Mary-Kate and Ashley lucky to have had so much fame and fortune so young? Or were the downsides of fame not worth it? Let me know what you think in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel.